Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of Brownsville Matters. I'm your host, Dr. W.F. Strong. We have in the studio this morning Lauro Trejo, who is, to me, a fascinating guy because he is just about to finish his 50th year. Can you believe that? Working for Goodyear here in Brownsville. He's going to complete that next month, his 50th year. And so we're going to have a long talk with him about his long career here in Brownsville and all the changes he's seen. Lauro, thank you for coming. We appreciate having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So 50 years, how does that feel?
It feels like just yesterday. I mean, I can't believe it. And it's been a pretty interesting career because when I started in 1973, we were working with muscle cars and stuff like that, and technology has changed throughout the years, and we can get to more of that as answer your questions.
Okay, yeah. Well, you just run wherever you want to go. That's fine with me. Whenever you feel the spirit move you, just take off and go there. But certainly that's something that a lot of us of our generation talk about. Men say, well, I can't work on my car anymore. When I was in high school, I could work on the car. In fact, you could get to stuff because there was room in there. And
that's correct.
So why did all that change? I mean, a lot of people say it's because the companies wanted to inhibit your ability to do the work yourself. They wanted to push the labor toward the company so the company could make money off of it, the dealerships, et cetera. Is that true, or was it just that technology began to grow up and take a lot of space?
It was technology, and the world was changing, and you myself as a manager, I had to change too. I couldn't stay in the same paradigm because then I would not be here talking to you right now.
That's true.
So I had to change with everything, but every change was a good change because they innovated the products, the cars, the dealerships. We were the OE producer of tires for them. I'm talking about cars,
right?
So Goodyear, the corporate company, they win with the changes. That's why they're still surviving right now. The corporate's been around for 125 years. This store in Brownsville started here in Brownsville downtown in 1933, right there where they have where you pay your fines. It used to be a bank.
Yeah.
So they demolished the building and they moved it about 2 blocks to 7th and 11th Street. And in 1984, I came in and managed the store, and we were there till 1995, and then we moved to this current location that we have. And
so you were downtown a long time.
Oh yeah, I was downtown. I came in right when they were experiencing the peso devaluation and stuff like that. And
did that hurt you?
Actually, I was a young whippersnapper back then. I was 31 years old, and when I came with this employees, they had a mindset that the peso devaluation was destroying everything. And actually, the store was, well, I'm not going to share the profit and losses at that time.
Right.
But anyway, it was losing money, and I came in September 1984, and they kept talking about the peso evaluation. And my first meeting, I remember, I was 31 years old. I said, you know what? I don't care about the peso. Let's concentrate on the dollar here in Brownsville. We have 33,000 cars registered at the courthouse that are running here. Let's concentrate on the dollar, and if the peso comes, then we'll take it. But let's not rely on the peso. I mean, if it comes, it comes. We're still going to give the service to the people. And in 4 months, the store was in a profit. Back then, we used to sell...
Good move.
Back then, we used to sell appliances with Goodyear.
Really?
Lawnmowers, tractors. I mean, we sold a lot of household items along with the
But I mean, you weren't selling a Goodyear lawnmower, were you?
No, we were selling
like Hondas or
we were. I don't even remember. A lot of the Sears
brands.
Yeah,
you sold those.
Yeah, and there was a business with the tire business and the service business, and we granted credit at the store level. In fact, I was a credit grantor. I had my credit machine to where I would revise the credit of the customer, and boy, everybody had credit in Brownsville when I came in. if the credit wasn't so good, I would tell them, you're not paying this guy, but you're gonna pay me. I'm gonna give you this refrigerator. But back then, I'm glad we got out of that business, and we're in the service business like we should have been all along. You had to give the credit to the customer, sell the appliances, deliver the appliance, collect the appliance, and you make your money off the finance charges. But that all changed throughout the years.
Well, did you have to go pick it up when they didn't pay?
Well, not necessarily me, but my employees.
But someone had to go do it, right?
Yeah.
So you were the repo people too.
The repo people too. Yeah, so too. And back then we used to do a lot of radio commercials. And when I came to Brownsville, actually, they didn't have a Spanish station. And
really? Back then they didn't have a Spanish station?
In 1984, they didn't. They had KBOR, but they had more of the Frank Sinatra music and the classical,
Right.
And when they came to the store to ask for some advertising, I said, "What? You have a Spanish station?" And the guy that had bought the KBR from the previous owner, he said, "That's what I want to open." So we started talking, and then I started advertising with them, and boom, KBOR Spanish station was born. It was before, but it had a different type of music.
Right.
So then we used to do live remotes at the store.
So when you went to Spanish, did you see an immediate impact of advertising in Spanish?
Yes, yes, we did, because you all didn't have it here. I don't know why.
I'm surprised.
We're so close to the border, so I was surprised too. But
you probably could have gone across and advertised from over there to this market.
Which I did also.
A little cheaper.
A little cheaper, a little bit, but everything's changed throughout the years.
Sure.
Well, this is a big company that I work for, so their advertising now comes from a standardized nationally.
Right.
So everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
But now with the media, the social media, really you don't do a lot of advertising because it's there,
So the national guys took over the advertising. So you don't get to advertise locally yourself anymore?
No, they took that away from us.
But you could do social media outreach, I suppose, right?
I've done a little bit,
yeah.
As long as it's within the guidelines,
Right, sure. Well, that is quite a transition. You came with no Spanish, and then you did Spanish language advertisements and radio, and then the national people took over, and now social media is taking over. So you've seen not only the technology take over, the automobile industry and the tire industry, but you've seen it take over, obviously, life.
Well, the technology has changed so much. When I started with Goodyear, probably we didn't have any computers, and to write invoices you had to do it with pencil. And man, in 1973 you could buy a set of tires, buy a splice because they didn't have radios, and a valve stem and a valve job. The tires you could get them for about 4 of them for about $45 or $50, and then the valve stems were like 25 cents, and the wheel balance was like $1. So you could get a set of tires for $80, But back then, the minimum wage was $1.60 when I started.
Yeah.
So.
And then they also had the old credit card.
Yeah. We did a lot of
press machine to get the credit card imprint, the carbon copies.
And then when we got the first computer, that tower was as big as this room right here.
Yeah, they were enormous.
So now we have these little towers, and so there's been a change.
But have tires changed
that much? Oh yeah, they innovated the product. We're number one in the world market. The company just acquired Cooper Tire.
Cooper.
Yeah, and of course we had Cali, the been ours, and we bought Dunlop. When I say we, we're talking about the company.
The company, sure.
About 15 years ago, and we dominated the European market with the Dunlop. So, and then we have the Indianapolis 500 racing tires, and so we got a good product.
Is that some of the best marketing? That you sponsor a race team and things like that. No, the Goodyear blimp. I mean,
that's another story right there. I mean, that's what maybe.
Did you ever get to ride on the Goodyear blimp?
It came to Brownsville.
Did it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I was in Kentucky.
No.
I was at a
training or something?
Training with GE, because we used to sell GE appliances.
Oh, my.
So I went to their factory, and they dine and wine us pretty good over there.
Yeah,
the blimp was here.
They do that. So the blimp, I remember being, kind of the best advertising in the world.
It still is.
Yeah.
It still is.
Because they still put it over the big football games.
Football games, and we were pretty well known, and that's what really attracted me to this company, because the symbols, the wing foot on the Goodyear, and then the blimp, and I guess I could have retired 30 years ago, but I'll tell you a little story about why I didn't retire 30 years ago. You want to hear it?
Yes, I would love to hear it.
When I had 25 years with the company, we had a conference meeting in New Braunfels, and they were celebrating this technician's 40th anniversary. And when I saw this technician getting his award, he was walking feeble and old, and I looked at him. I was a young guy, and I said, I'm just going to put 30 years. I'm not going to look like him, But then I hit 30 years. And I hit 30 years, and I said, how did that guy do 10 years? And that time I had my kids in college, and, they cost money.
Sure.
And so for me to retire was not an option. So I went another 5 years, and I said, dang, how did that guy do 40 years? So I went for another 40 years.
5.
The other kid went to college. One's a lawyer, and the other one's a school teacher, so that came out pretty good. So when I hit the 40, I said, you know what? I don't know where that man is. He's probably not around anymore. But he motivated me to hit 40. Now I'm going to break his record. At that time, I had a shadow box where I had my anniversary pins. I had the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, all the way down to 40. So I said, when I hit 45, I'll retire. By that time, I was financial free. I didn't have any. And when I hit 45, I announced my retirement. They did a big retirement party in San Antonio, and of course the gifts, and I made my little speech there, and the HR from Akron had teary eyes, but as I was driving back, I said, what the hell am I doing? I'm not ready to retire. But my wife was already excited, because she had been retired like 8 years.
Oh.
And she said, well, you're gonna retire, but it was driving me crazy, because the retirement day was in December. This happened in October that year. Right. So when the district manager came over, he said, Lauro, you looking for the retirement date? No, actually, I'm very depressed about it. I don't feel I'm ready. And he said, why are you retiring? He said, but you already did the party, and we'll make you another one. I need you another 3 years. So then I had to sell this to my wife. So I
a tougher sell.
So I sent my wife on a mini vacation with her sisters, and when she came back, we were in the swings in the backyard, and I said, she said, now you can spend more time with your horses, and I said, well, the horses I'm doing, but you know what? What do you think about this? The district manager, Tom, excellent person. He wants me to help him in another 2-3 years. What do you think? And she said, Lauro, go back to work. They said, I noticed a big change from you since you announced your retirement, and you're not ready. They said, I don't want you dying on me. So I hit 49, and I said, I'll be damned if I don't get the 50 to get my
Get your 50
pin to put it in the shadow box. So that's why I ended up. But I could have retired a long time ago.
Well, are you sure you're going to be ready at 50?
Yes, no, I'm ready for sure because I'm 71, and the thing about my wife and I, we did all our traveling, to Europe, Hawaii, you name it.
You've done it.
So that's out of the question. I mean, we'll travel here in the United States. Actually, 2 years ago, right after COVID, it was our 50th anniversary, wedding anniversary, and we spent a week in Memphis, Tennessee, on Graceland's Gas House next to Elvis Presley Mansion.
Sure.
That was the trip. It was really fun. So I'll do little things like that, and of course the horses. I'm already doing that, so that's nothing that I'm going to jump into. But I like to read a lot. I like to go to the movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I'm a big movie guy.
Yeah, did you
I
go
like
see
to
that?
go to the movies.
Did you go see 80 for Brady?
Not yet. No.
It's a pretty cool movie.
Sounds fun.
I saw it Sunday.
Yeah.
But
My wife and I like to actually, they say that the movies are failing, the theaters are failing, but and they are often empty. But I like to go. I
Me
like
too.
To go there.
I mean, and my wife likes to watch it at the house, But I'll fall asleep at the house. Here, you're eating your popcorn, and it's something different.
Maybe it's because we grew up going to movies. It's just nostalgic for us,
But it was different back then. Remember when I started seeing the movies, going to the movies in my teen years, they had a cartoon or they had
Yeah, that's true. They always had cartoons before the movie.
the movie. And actually, one of my first jobs as a teenager was cleaning the theaters at night.
Oh, I bet that was interesting.
They didn't pay you,
Uh-huh.
but you got a free weekend to take your girlfriend to the movies and free popcorn and Cokes. And, being a teenager was something.
Was that in Alice?
San Diego, Texas.
Oh, San Diego.
Yeah.
They had a movie theater in San Diego?
They had a movie theater in San Diego.
Wow.
And it's 10 miles from Alice.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah.
I grew up in Falfurrias and I often worked on this farm that an uncle of mine had out in Duval County.
Uh-huh.
And it was pretty close to San Diego. So
What was it, Springfield or what was it?
Duval County was the name of the county.
Yeah, Duval County was San Diego. But when you had the farm, where did you have it?
It wasn't in anything. I remember there was a place out there called Tres Flores, a little, I don't know what you call it, a little tienda. They just called Tres Flores.
Tres Flores.
But it was just about 20 miles really from San Diego. And so anytime that we would need to run to go get something, he'd often want to go to San Diego to the farmer. My uncle, he'd want to come over there. He wasn't my real uncle. He was just a friend of the family, but we called him Uncle,
Yeah, well, there's a
He
lot
did
of
watermelons out there.
Yeah. Well, the Falfurrias had a lot of watermelons.
And
But I
butter.
grew up in a ranch close to Alice as a kid, It's called the Amargoso. Were you familiar with that?
No.
Gilpitin? Well, our ranch is still there.
Uh-huh.
The family ranch.
The family ranch is still there?
Yeah.
And where do you have your horses?
The horses, I have them here in Brownsville. I have 3 of them. I have a buckskin, and I have a chestnut, and I have palomino.
So are you going to, now that you're going to be retired, are you going to be going to San Diego to your ranch?
I'm gonna be doing a lot of that.
Well,
yes.
Good.
Actually, it's actually between San Diego and Alice.
And Alice.
Amargoso.
Yes.
That was my grandfather's ranch, and
I'm just surprised San Diego had a movie theater.
oh yeah, I worked on it. I mean, I was in high school. Actually, the first Cassius Clay Liston fight they showed it in that theater, black and white, when he got the title.
Did they have Spanish language movies as well as Mexican movies?
Oh man, they had
There too?
They had Antonio Aguilar, Javier Solis. I grew up on.
Maria Felix.
Yeah, and they also had Jerry Lewis and
Jerry
Dean
Lewis,
Martin,
oh, yes, those are
and
very
all those
good.
movies.
Yeah, where I was in Falfurrias, we had 2 theaters. And they're right across the street from each other. The Alameda had the Mexican movies, and then
They still have the Alameda building there.
it's still there. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. And then the Pioneer Theater, which is now a nightclub. So we had those 2. So but I worked as a kid. I worked at the Exxon station, and I did a lot of work on tires when I was a kid. Because we did truck tires there. And we didn't sell them. I just repaired them. Those old split rims, I remember.
Oh, yeah. They were kind of dangerous.
They were kind of dangerous, yeah. We had to chain them up.
Actually, I started with Goodyear as a tire buster doing that.
Mm-hmm.
With
the split rims?
Yeah. I actually had the truck with the compressor, and I would go, because Alice was a booming town, oil field back then.
Yes.
Everybody was driving Cadillacs. And if you drove a Cadillac, you made it.
You made it
in the oil fields.
Absolutely.
So I started like that, and then I became service manager in Alice for about. Actually, I started like that, and then I started selling service, and we were selling appliances too there in Alice and everything.
I didn't know that y'all sold appliances. That's such news to me. I thought it was only tires.
No, tires and service, but I was selling so much service that the store manager, and I was getting $1.60 an hour. That was the minimum wage. But the store manager invented a title for me so I could get a nickel raise. It was a breaking alignment operator. And actually, they put the position through the corporate at that time. They invented that position. They originated from Alice.
Oh, funny.
And then I became a service manager and then store manager, and I've been a store manager ever since.
And you used to take the service truck out and service trucks along the road?
The road, or you go to the actual oil fields and mount 8 tires,
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, now those guys get paid really big money. The guys who do that stuff.
Oh yeah, and it was hard work.
Hard work, absolutely.
One time I remember it was Saturday, and we used to close this Goodyear store Saturday, and this oil field company, I don't remember that, Burton, Halliburton.
Okay.
Needed 8 tires, and they were by the road. I'm the new guy, so they sent me in the truck on a Saturday, and I'm there taking those tires out. I had to mount 8 of them. And my brother used to work for a Hub Tire in Alice, and he was doing the same thing as I was doing. He drives by there. What are you doing, bro? I'm on this truck. Let me help you. So he got his truck, and we knocked them out quickly. Right? And then he says, "Well, shit, let's get some overtime. Let's go drink some beer."
Since we finished early, let's get full credit. Yeah. So, what have you seen change in downtown Brownsville since your time? You had to move out of there, but a lot of people think that downtown's kind of coming back a bit.
It's coming back a bit, but when I came to Brownsville, you couldn't hardly walk downtown because you had so many people. But it was, I was so flabbergasted when I came in 1984, and I said, "Man, I never seen anything like it."
You get a lot of shoppers from across. Is that what you mean?
Shoppers from across, yeah. And they were good shoppers because they would come and shop, and freaking all the stores in downtown, and we had good stores in downtown too. I don't know. They have the Palm Lounge, but it's motorized. But back then they had the greasy burgers, and
they still make pretty good burgers, right?
Yeah, no, they do, they do. But
so the Palm Lounge was a big,
it was a big deal.
Draw there.
And of
was
course,
the Jardín open then?
Well, let me tell you a little story about the Jardín. I can go talking all day. When I first came to Brownsville, I didn't know anything about Brownsville, and I said, "Where's a good hotel that I can stay? Because I got to stay here for 6 months. I got to find a house to woo my family in."
Sure.
So I said, "Wow, there's the Jardín. Because walking distance." Okay, that's 2 blocks from the store,
Right.
So I go there, and I was surprised, man. I walked out of there fast, because they had some weird people working there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So I go back, and I said, "Don't you have another hotel more modernized, but better?" Yeah, there's La Quinta and Dennis, right there by the Amigo Road, where they have the Amigo.
Yeah.
So I stayed in La Quinta for 6 months, and I didn't know about Fort Brown. Fort Brown was a big hit back then.
Big, yes.
And I would have stayed there, but I didn't know any better. But everything worked out well, I went ahead and...
Yeah, I thought about that. Fort Brown was just right down the road there from you, just very close.
Yeah, but I never, since not knowing anything about it. And
yeah, the Holiday Inn, the Ramada Inn. I drive by there and think of that often because now it's just... they've cleaned it all out, and it's just land along the Resaca, beautiful palm trees and everything. But I think of the pool that used to be there and the nightclub.
Yeah.
People used to come from Mexico across to come
Yeah,
there.
actually, they had a nice nightclub there.
They did.
Yeah.
And then the college used it for a few years as a dorm.
Yes.
But
I think they're still doing that.
No, it's all torn down.
Oh, really?
It's all torn down, yeah.
They tore down Fort Brown?
Yeah. It's all torn down. But the reason primarily is the mold thing became a
Okay,
problem.
gotcha.
So it was hard to, it was just hard to, it just got old, that's all. It just got so old, it was hard to renovate it and make it nice and mold-free and all that stuff. So I think the original plan was to demolish those buildings and then maybe build something new there. Mm-hmm. But then when the university and TSC divorced. Then that became a moot point, so to speak. But were you downtown when the Amigo store collapsed?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up just next. You read my mind. Yeah, I was there when it collapsed. It was really tragic. And I'll tell you a story about that.
Yeah.
There was this, I told you earlier that I used to grant credit.
Mm-hmm.
And this customer, old man, came over and he wanted credit. And he didn't have any credit. But he showed me his bank statement. And, man, he had like $80,000 or $90,000. And I said, I'm not going to mention his name because he passed on.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I want credit because I never had credit. So I didn't question where he got the money. No, he had $300,000. That's what he had.
$300,000.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So I sold him a lawnmower. I delivered the lawnmower, and it was right there where La Quinta is right now, on the expressway.
Yeah.
And he had bought this house, big house, but where he lived behind the house, he had dirt floor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was in the real poverty, but he had all this money.
All this money. He lived.
And then one day his
It's maybe
grandkids-
why he had all that money,
Well, no, he had that money because his wife and his kid died on the collapse of that building.
Oh, I see.
So he got that money from there, but he was at that age where he didn't know what to do with it. So finally, they sold the place and they built a quinta there.
So what happened to him?
He passed on.
He passed on.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did.
Did he pay off the lawnmower?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was very proud to have that credit. I mean,
Yeah.
and then when I delivered, knowing where he lived, but he had bought the house, and the house had a swimming pool, but the house was abandoned, and he was gonna rebuild it. But then eventually he sold the property, or his kids sold the property, and they built a quinta.
Were you downtown helping with that rescue effort at Amigo store? I know a lot of people who work down there rushed down to help pull the bricks and stuff that day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
My employees and I, we helped. Not every day, but
Yeah. It went on a while. But I can't remember how many people perished in that. How many people died in that tragedy? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I remember that his wife and two grandsons passed away.
Well, I don't think it's as many as people initially feared. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Right, but there was
a number.
There was a number there, but I just can't recall.
Yeah. So what other big days do you remember in your career? I know that one stands out because you were there close by.
Yeah.
Are there any other days that you say that was a special day, either good or bad?
Well, let me tell you a little story. The employees in Alice, I mean, the minimum wage was $160, right?
Yeah.
And boy, they rely on that overtime. They like to work,
Sure.
52 hours of. When I came to Brownsville, we had like 21 employees, and they all worked 40 hours. So in my first meeting, I said, "Okay, I got a little surprise for you all. I know what it is to feed a family and support a family. I'm going to give you all 8 hours of overtime." And I thought that was going to make them real happy. And then I go eat at the Higgins Cafe. I don't know if you remember that next to Pum Lounge.
Yes.
And the owner there says, Mr. Trejo, you're new here in town, aren't you? I said, yeah, actually, I've been here 2 days. He said, your employees, they're not very happy with you. Why is that? He said, they don't like those 8 hours you're going to give them. And I said, why? Well, they're getting food stamps and they're getting stuff like that. I said, wow. I mean, something that surprised me, because you don't hear that in Alice.
Yeah.
So I had another meeting and I said, how many of you don't want to work the overtime? And boy, all the hands raised up, except for the one employee that's still working with me. And I said, why is that? He said, well, we're very family oriented. We'd like to be with the family, but you still got to support your family. And you have Sundays off, and you got your day off during the week. Yeah, but we just like to be with them. I said, okay, but I knew the reason. But what stands out that I save a lot of money, profit for the store, and my bonus too. Because I was going to pay all that out.
Yeah.
So with that many employees, we could get the job done.
Well, did that change over time? That willingness to work overtime? Did you?
Yes, it did. Once we moved over here,
Really?
I got a new set of employees.
Oh, I see.
Because the employees I inherited over here, they were up there in age too,
Oh, I see. They were set in their ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And over here you have mostly younger people?
Younger people and
in their 20s and 30s, I suppose?
Well, actually, I'm the only company in the district. Our district has 16 stores. And I'm the one that has more employees, with more tenure than anybody. I hired 2 employees because I'm retiring.
Right.
And then the employee that didn't raise his hand, he's retiring the same day I am. In fact, I wanted him to come today because he's going to retire the same day I am.
And how many years does he have?
Well, actually, he has got broken service. He worked 15 years. I got him promoted to store manager in San Benito. He ran the San Benito store. And then he left for 18 years, worked at the bookstore in the college.
Oh.
And then...
what a switch. Tires to books.
Yeah, but he was a manager there, And then I got him back, and he's been with me now going on 12 years. But he's going to retire April the 30th, the same day with me.
Wow. So you're the manager of this one, and he's the manager over there. So your company's going to lose a lot of experience all of a sudden.
Well, we had, I don't know if you realize that we had 6 stores here in the Valley when I came in 1984. We had one in Harlingen, one in San Benito, one in Weslaco, Farr, Edinburgh, and McAllen, and now we only have 3 left.
Oh.
When the lease expires, Goodyear will close them down, and they won't renew the lease, or the town moved. We moved 3 times. I do see in the future Goodyear building another store here in Brownsville because the market is there for it.
Good.
And I wish we would. Since we have SpaceX, I get a lot of business from them, from the employees, and they don't wheel and deal. I mean, they come from California and
they just pay.
Yeah, they come from California, and you give them an estimate, do it. You give the same estimate to somebody local. Come on, Lauro, bájale. Can you come down? So it's been fun,
Well, that is part of the more common in the Hispanic world to bargain.
Oh yeah, especially here.
You got to make because of the influence of Mexico right across. You got to bargain, right?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in. I've enjoyed.
My pleasure.
And good luck in your retirement, buddy.
Oh man,
enjoy those horses.
Yeah, well, I'm doing that already, but I'll see what comes along. But I enjoyed talking to you, sir. And
one thing that is very rare, though, you should be proud. It is extremely rare in this day and age for a person to stay 50 years with the same company. I mean, that was common back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, but it's extremely rare today. You're probably in the 1/10 of 1% who do that.
Well, it was that 40-year-old technician
who inspired you.
Inspired me. But wherever you are, man, I love you.
All right.
All right.
I'll see you down at the store.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this BSPA video. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you like what you see. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and go to our website, brosoperformingarts.org, and smash the donate button. And then we'll really like you too.